What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Today, Juventus capitalized on a down Salernitana team to come back and win a 2-0 victory over the home squad, bouncing back from what we were having to deal with Atalanta and the ongoing struggles that Juventus has had. Stick with us. We're going to do these ratings right now. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today, it is Tuesday, November 30th, 2021, and of course I have your latest rundown of all player ratings for you Juventus players that played in the match against Salernitana. Before we do anything though, let's go and hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and also make sure you hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Let's just go ahead and jump into it because we know these always take a little bit of time to get through. So the very first one we have up is, of course, our boy Wojciech Szczesny. He gets a 6 rating from me overall, played the entire match. Got challenged a few times there by some, I don't want to say errant, but some errant behavior by some of our defenders, as well as the tech was a little bit loose there, and some of his defensive, I don't know exactly how you say it, scheme or whatever have you, but working in as a keeper. He had a couple times that it was very, very lucky that he got bailed out by the and I apologize, guys. I don't know any of the names of the players that play for Salernitana. So I can go up here and I can pull it up and I can say who took a shot. But the one guy who had a really good open shot on the goal, but luckily he was saved over there by going off the right post there and really breathing a sigh of relief for Juventus. But overall, decent performance from him. But you know how I do these ratings. He gets a 6 overall for his performance today. Let's move on to the next guy. Juan Cardero gets a 6.5 from me. Actually, I forgot to pull these up. Let me actually go ahead and just do the stats real quick. For Szczesny, I used to like to run them down so that way you know what all he did today. He had 1 high claim, 2 accurate long balls, and that's really what he had to do. He wasn't, outside those couple moments, he wasn't that busy. Let's not kid ourselves. It's Salernitana. And again, I also do want to be clear, when I'm doing these ratings, a lot of the things that I like to talk about, I like to go into. I want to be honest though, like when it comes to these ratings, I need to be level-headed. I don't want to come in here and while I'm spitting hot fire after the Atalanta match, come in here and Juventus gets a win and act like everything's perfect, everything's great. That's obviously not the case. It's not true. You go in there, you beat Salernitana like you should. Honestly, probably maybe by a little bit more than you did. But that doesn't mean that everything's great. So I want to keep a level, even keel. Keep that in mind when I'm rating these players because you have to think about the competition. Okay. All right. Juan Cardero, I gave him a 6.5 rating overall today. He had 3 clearances, 1 interception, 2 tackles, 3 ground duels, 1, 2 aerial duels, 1, 3 key passes, 2 accurate crosses, 6 accurate long balls for his crosses and his long balls. And his aerial duels, he was perfect, 100% on each and every single one of those. He had 1 shot on target, 1 shot off target, 1 successful dribble attempt, and 1 that hit the woodwork. We also got to talk about the one that led up to the, unfortunately, if I put it in the ratings, VAR would have gotten a 0 rating from me. Before that was pulled back, though, the entire setup was thanks to that, the spot kick from Cuadrado there. And I was watching this part on my phone, so when I was looking at it, I was like, did it go over the line? I was really hoping for Juan Cardero to get that because it was a really well-placed shot that he took. And then you know how it followed up with Chiellini. And unfortunately, the way VAR, every time with Juventus, says that Moise Kean is offsides or whatever, how it played out, it's fine. But I really like that shot that Juan Cardero took is really well placed. Let's go ahead and move it on, though, because otherwise, like I said, these will take forever. Let's talk about our boy Matthijs de Ligt. I gave him a 6 overall rating, which may sound kind of harsh, but there were a couple of moments there that I feel like either he had to go catch up for somebody else and go mark another guy's man, or he was just all over the place, and there were a couple opportunities that a team like Salernitana shouldn't have gotten with what I would think of as a lockdown defender like de Ligt. Personally, him and Chiellini, especially both of them out there. 6 clearances, 1 tackle, 2 ground duels, 1 aerial duel, 1. He had 3 accurate long balls, and that's basically what he did for the performance today. A solid overall performance, though, from de Ligt as well. Anytime you can help do your part to keep a clean sheet, I'm going to be happy about that. Now let's talk about my man, all of our guys, King Chiellio. Giorgio Chiellini, he gets a 6.5 overall rating from me. Good to see him back playing with Juventus, being the leader that Juventus really needs out there, moving guys around, doing the things that I expect from Chiellini. I gave him a 6.5 rating overall for the same reasons, obviously with Delict and Cuadrado and all that the defense did, helping keep a clean sheet with with Chesney as well. But he had 4 clearances, 1 block shot, 2 interceptions, 3 tackles, 4 ground duels, 1 aerial duel, 1. He had 7 accurate long balls. He was putting in a lot of effort out there. And then, of course, we got to talk about I don't know about you guys, but sometimes to me, there's nothing more exciting to me than when a good defender, like a Chiellini, when Bonucci does it, a Delict, when any of the defenders score. For some reason, there's something about me when a center back scores that's more exciting than anything, because there's a little bit more power behind it, and it's not as finesse, if that makes sense. So it's a little bit more, I jump out of my seat and I get more excited. And I was so excited to see Chiellini come back from injury, come back in this game and get that goal, and then have that ripped away as it did. A bit disappointing, but overall, a good performance seeing him come back, because there's plenty of times that we're going to talk about that later, where you see a lot of guys come back from injury and they're just not in the shape. They're not what you expect or what Juventus needs in that moment. Let's move it on though. All right, then we can go to Luca Pellegrini, who I gotta give him some credit. He gets a 6 overall rating from me. Played 67 minutes before he ended up being pulled later for Alexandro, of course, coming in for him. He had 1 clearance, 1 interception, 3 tackles, 5 ground duels, 1. Let me just go over these real quick. 3 accurate long balls. One thing I gotta give him credit for, he's really held up well playing as he has. I do want to say this. Like I said, I want to keep it even keel. Team as a whole. These ratings are obviously, I'm giving 6s out. I'm not giving 7s. I'm not giving out 8s or anything like that. They're fine. This team did fine. They got the win. Good to be happy about that. That's a positive statement, okay? Positive here. That's what we do here at the Bianconeri. So we're the positive channel. But overall, I do want to be clear, though. Still did not see a lot more doing a lot of good things, and this is not for Pellegrini. This is just the team as a whole when I'm saying this. Still not doing a lot of things that I really want to see, a lot of that cohesion, a lot of that plan, that future plan. We have a 4-4-2, and then whatever it was that it moved around for a bit. But anyway, a lot of stuff that I'm looking for hasn't come to fruition yet. So I want to be a little bit more reserved in some of these ratings, and not just go over the top and say this guy was great. Anyway, back to that. Just want to be clear that had to pepper in a little negativity there for you guys. But I will say from Luca Pellegrini, I really liked his crosses. He was delivering some really good crosses there. Yes, it's against a bad team like Salernitana. They are a bad team. Let's not kid ourselves. But at the same time, I liked what he was doing. If there's one thing about me, what excites me, Juan Cardero does it. Whenever he's on and he's delivering those crosses and he's creating for the other players, I love to see it, especially from the back, because you need as much assistance as you can get. All right, let's move on to the next one that we have up for us today. And that, of course, is going to be Rodrigo Bentancur. I gave him a 5.5 overall rating. I know a lot of people may have gone a little bit higher than that. Some people were saying he was being good. He was playing well at the beginning. There were a few things, though, that just bothered me. To be honest, there was let's just say 1 key pass. He had 8 accurate long balls, which is solid. 1 shot off target, 1 successful dribble, 5 ground duels, 1 aerial duel, 1 clearance, 2 interceptions, and 3 tackles. It's just there's these little moments, little things that he does that I just don't see the hustle. I don't see the creativity that, like, obviously he did a lot more than normal. Maybe I could have lifted it up to a 6, but then I feel like I'm giving out a lot of 6s, and that's kind of boring. So you can just battle me and let me know if you think I should have raised it or whatever have you. But one of the things that really stuck out to me, and that's what I kind of do in my ratings, I know people do it, there'll be one moment that'll really kind of click and make you be like, come on, man, what are you doing? It was that the shot that was taken that I think Tech and Delict and Chiellini at that time, where they all got off lucky that it hit hit that right post there and ricocheted off. Otherwise, it would have been a real easy goal for them. That was one of those opportunities where Delict was marking somebody else and he was being pulled to the right, and Bentancur's out here on an island, and just walking, just walking. He sees it happening, and he's just walking like oh, it's gonna happen. There's nothing I can do. Like no hustle, whatever. Even if you can't get over to them, I want to see you trying to like run over to him, sprint, whatever you have to do at that moment. Maybe it's nitpicky, maybe it's whatever. That was just kind of my issue with him at that moment. That's something that really stuck out to me. All right, let's move it on though. We've got Manuel Locatelli. I gave him a 6 overall rating. So, I guess you could argue maybe I should have flip-flopped maybe him and Bentancur. You let me know if you think that I was wrong in doing that. Did some okay things. He had 1 key pass, a 1 accurate long ball. He had 1 ground duel 1, 1 aerial duel 1, and 2 clearances and 1 tackle. He helped do a couple of the things that helped create setup for 1 or 2 of the goals that we would have had. At least 1 or 2 of the goals that didn't come to fruition. But overall, I didn't think he had a terrible game. Nothing really special, though, personally. Like I said, sometimes to me, the biggest things are when you're not doing the things that stick out negatively. Does that make sense? I don't know why I'm asking somebody who's never going to answer me these questions. But anyway, let's move on to the next one that we have here, and that is going to be Dejan Kulusevski. He gets a 6 overall rating. You could argue maybe a little bit higher. Even could have gone to a 6.5, but of course, got to give him the huge credit. The biggest thing that he did today was setting up that assist to Paulo Dibala to set up for that goal. It was beautifully done, beautifully orchestrated. The way he set it up, where Dybala passed to him, and then he quickly flipped it back to him and set up for that just rocket by Dybala. No chance for anybody else to try to recover and try to shut him down. It was just beautifully done. Give Dejan Kulusevski credit, because this is what I want to see from him. If he's not being an offensive threat or attacking, he's creating. He's doing that. That's what we say. We were always complaining about is midfielders or whatever else have you. We don't have enough midfielders that are creative. Well, you have Kulusevski, who in this role is being creative for Dybala. So I'm happy with that. 1 assist, 1 key pass. Yeah, 1 shot on target, 1 shot off target, 1 shot blocked, 2 successful dribbles. 6 ground duels 1 aerial duel 1, and 3 tackles as well. It's unfortunate too because he had another opportunity. Maybe it was a poorly taken shot or whatever have you, but definitely skied it a little bit on an opportunity where he could have knocked in a goal there. Next up is Paulo Dibala. He got my player of the match. He got a 7 overall rating from me. Really good performance from Paulo Dibala. The effort he's giving there, the constantly feeling like he could be a threat to attack. Again, I understand. They're playing against Salernitana. It is not Atalanta even. It's not Inter. It's not Milan or whatever have you. We know he's a threat against those teams, okay? But obviously he's going to play better against the worst teams. That goal that he had was beautiful. Of course, we have to talk about it. Honestly, if we're looking at it, Paulo Dibala, where you could have knocked him, the opportunities he had, he probably should have scored 2 to 3 goals. The penalty, what are you doing? He slipped and he fell. It happens. I didn't see what led up to that. I didn't see if there was any mismanagement with the ground there or whatever. I'm not claiming somebody did that. But the way he slid and fell, unfortunate. You could have argued. Okay, let's talk about it, because I don't have it anywhere in here. And I've been on Twitter today, and it's just been blowing up with people that's like back and forth with all kinds of different sides about this. And I didn't think that this was something that would be a topic at all. People are really fiery when it comes to youth players for Juventus. And they're talking about Sule. And they're saying, maybe he should have gotten to take the pin. And that would have been a cool moment. You're winning 2-0. It's the final seconds of the game. You're going to take the pin. You're going to wrap it up, go home. Give Sule the chance. Let him go out there, have fun doing it. But I've also seen people talk about the whole situation of the seconds that he played, how he barely got to play. I don't know if they're raining on his parade or whatever have you. And then there's people that are angry, and it's just back and forth. There's so many people all over the place doing this. I don't know. I think we're allowed to see the humor in this and see that it's kind of funny. You walk in and walk out. Basically, the Simpsons meme of like Grandpa when he comes in, takes his hat off, puts it on the thing, turns back around, grabs his hat, and leaves. That's what it kind of reminded me of. But also, to be clear, it's funny. But yes, it's a big moment for him. It's cool anytime you get to play for a team you love or, at the big stage. But also, He's not a Make-A-Wish kid. This kid's making money. He's making more money than a lot of people around the world are making at his age, at his level. He's not a Make-A-Wish kid. Yeah, he's not making, he's not making Dybala money or what Dybala's going to be making or any of that stuff. Duh. But at the same time, it's just kind of funny. I don't know. I just say people take things way too seriously. Move on. Whatever side you're on, come on. Anyway, let's move on. Or anyway, that's what I wanted to touch on, though. Could have probably had more goals. Maybe that's the one knock that I give him, is that he really could have had more opportunities to score there. Let's move on, though, to Federico Benedetsky and talking about him and his performance today. I gave him a 6 overall rating, a solid performance, really, from Benedetsky. When I say that, he didn't do anything that really ruined the day for me. That's the one thing I can say. And I'm not trying to crap on Benedetsky, because Benedetsky had a good game. I don't know why he didn't really get credited in some of the stat sheet I saw with the assist, but he had the assist from Marata. He set up Marata, and then Marata tucked it between the guy's leg and scored. The keeper, not the guy. Anyway, I'm going to say he had 1 assist, even though this sheet that I'm looking at doesn't say that. 1 assist, 2 accurate long balls, 1 shot blocked, 1 successful dribble, 5 ground duels, 10 possessions lost, so that's a smaller numbers. That's pretty solid from him, and 2 tackles. That's sad. That's the floor that I'm setting. I know. You guys are going to come at me with the Benedetsky stuff. It's just a joke. Come on. Anyway, 6 overall rating, not a bad performance from Benedetsky, especially given when we're looking at what we're working with moving in here. I was not super excited or we're hopeful with the options that we had. Not that Juventus should be beating Salernitana, but at the same time, the last 2 years I've seen everything. I've seen Cotone beating them. I've seen all kinds of stuff happening, so nothing would surprise me. Let's move on to Moise Kean. Moise Kean probably would get my worst player of the match today, unfortunately. And I really like Moise Kean. But he was not on his game, and we have to be honest about what we saw with him today. He only played 67 minutes before he was pulled for Alvaro Marata. He had 1 successful dribble. He had 1 key pass, 2 ground duels, 1. 3 offsides call. He 1 clearance, and of course he was the culprit of getting the Chiellini goal pulled back. Unfortunately, I don't know. Whatever it is with VAR, I understand a little tiny bit of the shoulder or whatever have you. I don't fully understand, or I don't understand it, but I don't fully understand how sometimes they make different determinations depending on what team is playing. I'm not trying to be that guy, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, whatever have you. Not the best performance. What I wonder about Moise Kean is Moise Kean's just coming back off of an injury. So I'm not going to give him a pass. I'm not going to do the Italian shield thing, but at the same time, I want to see if he can maybe get some more playing time and maybe come back a little bit stronger. He's coming back from this injury. Give him a little bit of time before we fully crush him. Right now, you can just do a little bit of a couple pot shots, but no crushing exactly is what I'm saying. So we'll see how he does. Hopefully he can come back stronger. Hopefully he can come back playing well, better, and really looking like what I thought he would look like from the beginning of the season, where I felt like he was looking like a threat. He looked like he had that killer instinct, and I think he has it. I still think he has it. I mean, I know there was something that I saw with that player when he was playing at PSG, and sometimes with the Italian national team when he got those chances. He needs to be able to bring that at Juventus. I'm going to give him a little bit more time. Hopefully you guys will too. I will talk about in the end. I've flipped a little bit on a certain topic. We'll see if we have time for that today. All right. Then from there, we have to move on to some of our reserves that we had in play today. The next one up is going to be Alexandro. So let's talk about him. I gave him a 5.5 overall rating. Only played 23 minutes. As you know, when I do my ratings, I start at 5. You go lower or above. Your play determines that. 1 clearance, 1 accurate long ball, and yeah, he didn't really do that much. He only had 20 minutes. Only so much you could do. There's nothing really to write home about. He, substituted in for Luca Pellegrini in that situation. I wish there was more that I could really talk about, but I can talk about this guy a little bit. Alvaro Marata, who's being crushed or whatever have you. I mean, last game, let's be real. Allegri said that he played well. A lot of people said he played well. I would strongly disagree. I'm not a lot of people. Some people were trying to push the narrative that he was playing well. I do not agree that he was playing well, personally. But today I was glad to see him. I do have people. I think people think because I say one negative thing about somebody that I hate this person, and it's so ridiculous. If you play for Juventus, I'm more than likely like you as a player. I'm more than likely a fan. But I am critical, just like I love my son. I'm critical of the things that I care about. In this instance, that's Alvaro Marata. He had that one goal. Great to see him get back on the board. I definitely needs that for his confidence. I was really happy to see. Anytime I see him celebrate, especially in a time of distress in his play, maybe a little bit. I like to see that. I gave him a 6.5 rating because of that. One shot on target, one shot off target. He had one penalty that he won at the end of the game, so give him a little bit of credit there. Unfortunately, they didn't capitalize on that. One key pass, one accurate long ball, one big chance created, 2 ground duels, one aerial duel, one. And yeah, that's what he did for today. 23 minutes. That's not a bad little stat sheet to be able to put together when you're just barely coming in for a short amount of time. And then also we can go in and throw in Adrian Rabio. He only played for 19 minutes, so there's not really much that I can really go off of there. Obviously, we know Rabio's been struggling as of late. Hopefully, he can do his normal thing. Did he have any stats really to write home about? No, not really. Not really. He had 23 touches. There you go. That's what he did today. All right. Whenever we get to this part, it's a little bit of, little crassness when it comes to some of the people that are added on there at the end, substituting that role. The other one would be Sule. Talked about him earlier. He played for seconds. I'm not giving a rating for a guy who played for seconds, but good for him for getting his first playing, not minutes, but seconds with Juventus. Anyway, all hate mail for me getting a chuckle out of that goes to Alejandro Fancello at Twitter account at AlejandroBZ. Final one is Maximiliano Allegri. I gave him a 6 overall rating for today. They got the win. They got the 3 points. They beat the worst team currently in Serie A. So good. There's the credit you get for that. Maybe because I feel like a 5.5 would have been too harsh, if I'm being honest. I thought about going to 5.5, but it's just the reason is I'm still not seeing the plan, the development, the whatever have you. I want to see it. Just give me something. Give me something to work with here to understand what you're doing here, where you're going with this, like the idea that I thought was going to come with this. It doesn't have to be the idea that I thought that you were going to do, but just show me the plan, show me the development, whatever have you. This is what I want to get to. I'm honestly at the point where I think we'll end this, but I kind of almost going to bend the knee a little bit. I've always been somebody who didn't always agree with playing time for the younger players. Just because it was just like, you have your top talent, why not play them? Well, there's some guys that are struggling. If you go through the list here, we talk about Morata struggling. We talk about Benedetsky struggles. I'm not saying today. Neither one of those really struggled today. But overall, they have. Moise Kean right now is struggling with injury. He is youth, though. Dybala, whenever he's unhealthy, whatever have you. In those situations, I think that's a good time when you need to utilize some of your youth. Like I said, giving Sule some playing time. Not just seconds. Giving him a few minutes. If he's really being built up to be a solid player. Brazil had to jump on him before Italy could get him in their clutches. So at that point, what does that mean to me? Maybe he's worth getting a look at against this kind of competition. Maybe if we're playing Inter or Milan or Atalanta or any of those, Napoli, yeah, maybe I'm like, keep him, sit your ass on the bench. But right now, when you're playing these low-level teams that you should be beating, that you should be confident that you're going to take it to the woodshed, that's fine. Give him some playing time. I think Kyle George should be getting playing time in these moments. I think Sule should be getting playing time in these minutes. People were getting on me. I'm not going to say De Winter because of the joke that I made on Twitter before. Whatever have you. I mean, sure. But at the same time, those are the guys. I think Sule and Kyle George could be 2 guys that you could give a little bit of playing time, especially when you have guys like Chiesa out, Weston McKennie, Chiellio. I'm sorry. I don't know why I had to say that one. Anyway, that's my thought. Give them a little bit of playing time. This month is a good time to do it when you're playing some of the lower level teams that you should beat. Yes, I understand that's not always going to happen. But if you get a goal or 2 up, maybe consider giving some minutes to these guys. That's what I would do personally. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me on any of these ratings? Let me know as well. I'm sure that I'd be happy to hear your thoughts and or your complaints about what I've said today. Anyway, guys, if you haven't already, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media. My personal one is at Justin Sofro on Twitter. And, of course, you've got at bianconerizone, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. You can catch us there. Make sure you subscribe. Like I said, subscribe and do that now. But otherwise, guys, we'll see you next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.